What's going on, guys? Indy here with Ultimate 2 Reviews, and have you ever wondered what would happen if you combined a tape measure with a laser measure? Well, check this out. This was sent to me by a brand called Elikliv, I think that's what it's called. This is their LTM-01, and that's exactly what it sounds like. It's basically these put together into one unit, which is pretty interesting. So let's pop this thing open and check it out. So it looks kind of interesting on the side here. You can see we have the laser built into here. It's got a couple other cool features built into it as well. I'll get to those in just a second. But you got a screen up on top. Now it is going to be only a 16-foot tape measure, not like super long. I always prefer to have the 25-footers myself personally, but it's got some really interesting stuff built into it and some features, so let's check this out. Alright, so included in the box, of course, we're going to have a USB charging cable, and you're going to have your manual. And guys, like I said, whenever we get these, more complicated measuring devices here, definitely read the manual. There's lots of information in there. It tells you how everything works, and some other cool features that you might not even be aware of. Alright, so let's say I want to measure from, say, here to that red cabinet. Now, one thing that's cool is it's actually got a magnetic tip there, which is really cool. I don't think the Milwaukees have those, and I think a couple of the DeWalts have those as well, too. So I can just lock on something metal, which is pretty nice. Now, it is a locking tape measure, so it stays open, which is pretty awesome. Only downside of this, of course, is that it's going to be a smaller tape measure, of course, because we have the laser on that one side. So I kind of like the thicker tape measures myself, but this seems like it works decently okay. All right, let's see how far I can get this tape measure out before it snaps. Let's see here. You're nearing 6 feet. There's 7 feet. Oh, there we go. So just a little over 7 feet before it snaps there. All right, so the table I'm working on is obviously more than 7 feet away now. So let's turn on the tape measure and see if I can measure it just from standing right here. Now, there's actually some cool modes in here. So it can actually measure from the back of the tape measure or from the front, which is really cool. So you can put this in a door jamb and put it up against the jamb and measure the entire door jamb, taking into account the back of the tape measure. So let's see here. I'm just going to measure from the front of the tape measure, and let's see here. There we go. I've got 2.525 meters. All right, so I'm curious how accurate it actually is versus the actual tape measure built into it. So I'm going to go 2 feet here. I'm going to put the 2 feet mark right at the start of the laser there. So I'm as close to 2 feet as possible. So let's go 2 feet to that wall and see what happens here. All right, that's pretty accurate there. I'm showing 2 feet, 0.2 inches, and 15/16. So that's pretty dead on there. I'm sure the laser is going to be slightly more accurate than even the tape measure itself, depending on exactly where that laser is measuring on the inside there. All right, so let's do a door jamb measurement here. I'm really curious to see what this is going to be. So I'm sure this is just a standard door jamb here. And of course, you do one of these to measure it right at about 31.5 there. So let's see what the laser tells me. There we go, and I got 31.3, so pretty close there. Pretty interesting how this thing works, and there is a ton of features to check out. Let's go check out some more of those. So this thing also does area and volume, which is pretty cool. There is so much measurements you can do with this thing. Of course, got the single and continuous measurements. And of course, there's going to be a bunch of different features here. Here's the manual. We also have addition and subtraction in here. There is lots of different measurements you can take with this unit. So overall, I think it's a pretty sweet little deal for this thing. And this thing has a lot of different functionality. Now, I will say it is a little light for what it is. It's not like, a huge tape measure, not a 25-footer, of course, and it's a bit smaller as well, too. So that's going to be your only downside to it. But I like having the backup as a tape measure, and it's also a laser measure, which is pretty cool, too. It's good up to 197 feet, so that really gives you a lot of different options for doing a lot of different measurements. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check this thing out on Amazon. This thing is pretty cool. I definitely recommend this thing. If you're taking a lot of different measurements, you want to have a tape measure, but you also want to have a laser measure all built into one instead of carrying around 2 different units. This thing's pretty neat. So guys, thanks for watching. Take care, have a great day, and stay safe out there.